You eat everything in sight but stay rail thin. Everyone calls you blessed, tells you you're lucky because you never have to worry about getting fat, right? But here's the truth. When you're trying to build muscle and look strong, it feels like a curse. And science shows you're not imagining it. Research suggests that about 15 to 20% of people are what scientists call non-responders. Your body genuinely works differently. So today, I'm going to break down exactly why this happens to you, and more importantly, what you can actually do about it. Because here's the thing, most non-responders aren't really non-responders at all. They're just following the wrong approach for their biology. Why eating more doesn't make you gain weight. The first reason you can't gain weight might surprise you. It's called NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis. NEAT is all the movement you do without thinking, fidgeting, adjusting your posture, pacing while on the phone, tapping your foot. It seems insignificant, but it burns hundreds of calories daily. Here's the cruel part. When you eat more to gain weight, your NEAT automatically increases. Your body literally fights back to keep you lean. You're not crazy when you say, I eat so much but can't gain weight. Your body is just burning it off without you realizing. But don't worry, we have solutions. I'll get to them soon. Why your muscles don't build as fast. The second issue happens inside your muscle cells. Think of your muscles like a factory that builds new tissue. To build anything, you need workers. And in your muscles, those workers are called ribosomes. They're tiny machines that take the protein you eat and transform it into actual muscle. Here's what researchers found after 12 weeks of training. Some people increased their muscle ribosomes by 32%, but so-called non-responders, only 8%. So even if you're eating enough protein and training hard, if your muscles don't have enough ribosomes, they physically cannot build new muscle fast enough. It's like trying to construct a house with only 2 workers instead of 10. This isn't your fault. It's largely genetic. Most people naturally produce more ribosomes when they train. Some don't. But here's the good news. This can be improved. More on that in a minute. Why your body resists building muscle. Third, let's talk genetics and hormones. Some people have a gene variation that produces much more myostatin than normal. Myostatin is a protein that acts like a brake on muscle growth. Its job is to prevent uncontrolled muscle growth, which sounds good except when you produce 30 to 40% more of it than average. Then you're essentially driving with the parking brake on. Then there's testosterone and growth hormone. But here's what most people get wrong. It's not just about having high levels, it's about whether your muscles can actually respond to them. Some people have muscle cells with fewer hormone receptors, which means the same hormone levels produce a much weaker growth signal inside the muscle. And finally, stress and cortisol. Some bodies are more sensitive to stress. When cortisol stays elevated from poor sleep, overtraining, or life stress, your body shifts into survival mode, muscle breakdown instead of muscle building. Why your body fails to use what you eat. Fourth, some people simply don't absorb nutrients efficiently. This could be from faster gut transit time, food moves through your system before you extract all the nutrients, or lower levels of digestive enzymes, meaning you break down food less effectively. So that's the bad news. Some people genuinely have it harder. But here's the good news. When researchers looked closer, they found that most non-responders disappeared when the approach was changed. They weren't actually non-responders. They were just following the wrong strategy for their biology. Before we get to solutions, let me clear up some questions that almost everyone gets wrong. Is junk food the fastest way to gain weight? Technically, yes, junk food can make you gain weight fast, but here's what they don't tell you. It's almost entirely fat, and not the good kind. Junk food creates skinny fat bodies, thin arms, thin legs, but a soft belly and chest. The worst possible body composition. Plus, it wrecks your appetite hormones, tanks your energy, and lowers testosterone and growth hormone, making it even harder to build muscle later. Junk food is the fastest way to gain body fat, not a better physique. Do mass gainers actually work? Mass gainers do work, but only for the exact problem they're designed for, helping you consume more calories than you burn. That's it. Most mass gainers are 60 to 80% carbs, usually maltodextrin. A single scoop can deliver 600 to 1200 calories. Food that would take 30 minutes to chew, you drink in 30 seconds. For skinny guys who genuinely struggle to eat enough, they can help. But here's my take. Start with whey protein first if your meals are low in protein. If calories are still too low, make a homemade gainer with whole foods. I'll share recipes at the end. Mass gainers should be your last option, not your first. And remember, none of this matters if you're not training properly. Otherwise, you're just gaining fat. Can being underweight affect fertility? Let's be clear, being skinny and being underweight are not the same thing. Skinny is a natural body type and can be perfectly healthy. Underweight means your body doesn't have enough energy reserves for normal functions. Fertility problems aren't linked to being skinny. They're linked to being chronically underweight or in a severe energy deficit. A naturally skinny person who eats enough, sleeps well, and manages stress usually has normal fertility. All right, enough theory. Let's talk about what you need to do. First, double your training volume. Studies found that people who didn't respond to 3 sets per exercise suddenly started growing when they increased to 6 to 9 sets. Your muscles need a bigger stimulus. You're not doing too much, you are doing too little. If you're a hard gainer, your body needs more volume to trigger growth. Second, eat way more than you think. Research shows people underestimate their calorie intake by 30 to 50%. If you think you're eating 3,000 calories, you might only be eating 2,000. And remember that NEAT we talked about? As you eat more, your body burns more. You might need to eat 800 to 1,000 extra calories, not just 500, to actually see the scale move. The easiest way? Liquid calories, smoothies, shakes, homemade gainers. I've made tons of recipes. You'll see them on screen at the end. Third, master your nutrient timing. Hitting your daily protein target is important, but how you distribute it matters just as much. Research shows that consuming 0.3 to 0.4 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per meal, spread across 4 to 5 meals, stimulates muscle growth more effectively than eating it all at once. Each meal should contain enough high-quality protein to hit the leucine threshold, the amino acid that flips the muscle-building switch. You don't need special supplements. Milk, whey, eggs, chicken, and fish already do the job. But here's what matters even more for skinny guys. Calorie timing. Eat your biggest, most calorie-dense meals after your workout and later in the day. Why? Because your movement and NEAT naturally drop in the evening, so fewer calories get burned off unconsciously. You're feeding your body when it's least likely to waste energy, so the surplus finally turns into muscle instead of vanishing. Fourth, be patient. Like, really patient. Some people see changes in 8 weeks, others need 16 to 20 weeks. If you're a slow responder, that doesn't mean it won't work. It just means you need more time. Consistency over months beats perfection over weeks, every single time. Look, if you're someone who struggles to gain weight and muscle, it's not in your head. Your biology is different. But different doesn't mean impossible. It just means you need a different approach. Higher volume training, more calories than you think, and tracked honestly. Strategic rest outside the gym, smart nutrient timing, and more time. Your next step? Learn how to train properly, because eating in a surplus will only make you fat if you're not training effectively. I've got a video on exactly how to build muscle the fastest way possible. It's on your screen right now. Go watch it. Let's get to work.